Hey everybody, Driftwood here. Hopefully you're all doing great. I'm over here in Eastern Oregon. For those of you that don't know, it's probably about 9:30 in the morning. I'm not exactly sure, but let's take a look. Whatever that says, right? It is 9 o'clock in the morning, and we got a day ahead of us. That's right. So the smoke is still here. It cleared out for a few days. We had some wildfires start just up the hill from us about 3.5 weeks ago, and it's just been beyond smoky here for the last 3.5 weeks. Hey, Opal. I'm going to say hi to my Dodge. There's the Opal girl. What's up, Opal? Opal. What you doing, Pooch? Yeah, you say hi to everybody. What are you doing? That's my Opal girl. The neighbor was waving. Yeah, so we got a few things to do today. We're going to go check out the garden. Let's go ahead and get you guys a view. So we got our cucumbers. We sprayed them with milk yesterday afternoon. It seems to be doing a great job of fighting off the powdery mildew. So you can see the powdery mildew spots. It's not spreading, and that's because we did half gallon of milk in this container with water, and then we sprayed it over the leaves. We did that to change the pH. The garden has become very acidic, which doesn't surprise me because we're at year 5 and there's been a lot of compost. I mulch all of this stuff into the ground every single year. Sorry if I show those girls, then YouTube doesn't like it, so I'm trying not to. But I mulch all of the tomatoes, I'll mulch the potato leftovers, all the corn stalks, all the cucumbers, everything that I grow in the garden. I let it die off and then turn into compost, and then I till it into the garden every single year. And that has led to about a 6.5 to a 6.7 acidity of all the soil. The plants freaking love it. You can tell how green they are. Plus they get, all the plants have been getting lots of rice water mixed with molasses. So the biome in the dirt this year is doing freaking amazing, and everything is going great. But because it's acidic, that is a breeding ground for all sorts of like powdery mildew, fungus spores, and things like that. So although it's great for growing, it is a breeding ground for other things you don't want as well. So you can see the powdery mildew on here as well. That's been there for a few days, and it hasn't spread because I used the milk solution here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the peppers today. Peppers are looking good though. You can see we've got plenty of jalapenos. We've got about 5 or 6 on there. There's a bunch hiding down in there. See? Got some in the back there. Got 5 or 6 jalapenos. The anchos. Got one there. Got one hiding back here somewhere. We got another ancho there. We got the big girl here. We got another one right through there. So we got 4 or 5 ancho peppers. And then our these are actually going to be baby bell peppers. And we finally have 3 baby bell peppers. See one little one there starting, and then 2 big ones right there. It hasn't grown very much, which is surprising. I've done all the right things, but it definitely, when I got it, it was already about 4 inches tall, had 2 little peppers on it, and it just didn't want to grow. All these were very stunted out when I got them. They were overrooted and had a root lock on them and just didn't want to do their thing. But so far, the ancho has come back and turned into an amazing, beautiful, beautiful plant. So is the jalapeno, and the bell pepper is starting to pick up. Now, I'm excited about the potatoes this year. I've only done potatoes 2 or 3 years, and I get some potatoes out of it, but it's never a whole lot. But this year, we're really going all out. So you can see there's little potatoes popping through in here, little baby ones all over the place. You can see a couple in there. And then we've got another potato bush over here. I don't know what we're going to be getting in terms of this one, or where it even ends. You can see how good that soil is, dark and rich. It's good. The bugs are loving it. And then we've got our tomatoes. Tomatoes are looking amazing. You can see we've got some red ones in there all over the place. I just harvested about 2 dozen of them. So the tomatoes are looking freaking amazing this year, which for some reason the tomatoes always look great which just blows my mind because I'm not a tomato fan at all. I like salsa and I like spaghetti sauce and ketchup, but when it comes to the other stuff, I'm not a tomato fan. I do not like raw tomatoes. If I even taste a tomato, I have an instant gag reflex. So if you have that feeling too, like when you eat a tomato and you have a gag reflex, let me know. Put it down in the comments. I want to know that I'm not alone. But yeah, tomatoes are definitely not my thing. Check this out. You can see we've actually got some blue skies today. The smoke is blown away a little bit. There's a cool little cloud up there, right? Yeah, the smoke is blown away a little bit, and we've got some nice blue skies. And the corn, I don't know what's going on with my corn this year. I mean, I guess I have a pretty good idea. So when you have a small patch of corn like this, and I already knew this, you can see that these ones are just not doing well. When you have a small patch of corn, what happens, especially like this where they're in a row, what happens is these seeds here, which would be like, you know, the male, these seeds need to make it down into the little hairs like so. See, that's not good. And when they make it down in a little thing like so, it actually fertilizes every single kernel inside the corn. That's right. So every kernel needs to be fertilized to grow. And when you don't have a lot of corn stalks like this, when you only have a line of corn growing like this, you should be fertilizing each corn stalk yourself. So actually taking this, throwing it in a bag, shaking it up, and then pouring the pollen onto the hairs so that it can fall down inside the corn. It actually has to go all the way through the hairs. So like this one here, you got to take it through the hairs, dump the pollen on it, and it's got to make it all the way down into here and then fertilize all these kernels. And that's how you end up with corn. And like I can feel this one, and it's just spotty corn. So it's not going to be very good. Now this one, on the other hand, this one is a very, very, sorry, I just smack-a-doodled the camera. That one's a very nice corn. What we're going to do with these this year, because I don't think we're going to get more than maybe 4 ears of edible corn on this whole thing. What I'll probably do is dry them all out. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, so that's actually got a really, really nice, hefty corn cob in there. What we'll probably do is take all these out, dry them out, and then use the seed next year to, oh, we might actually have two. I think we'll have two edible ones. Yeah, we'll have at least two edible ones this year. This one over here looks pretty good too. Nope. Yeah, see, because it's pretty much failed this year, which sucks. I hate to admit it, but I didn't put the effort into my corn stalks, and I usually do. I kind of knew in the beginning it was going to be more of a task than it was worth when I only did one row. I thought I had more corn seed left over from the heirloom seed kit that I bought. So these are heirloom corn. This is all organic heirloom corn. This is heirloom cucumbers and zucchinis, heirloom tomatoes, heirloom potatoes. Oh, sorry, I take that back. The potatoes are actually, there's an Idaho, a red, and a yellow. So that's from a bag of Idaho potatoes, the big ones. The one in the middle is the yellow, and then the one down here is the red. So there's 3 different types of potatoes. And actually the peppers are from, I didn't start them myself, if I'm being honest here, and I would like to be. I actually bought these from Walmart this year, and they were pretty much the struggling ones that had been let go for too long. And they were waterlogged and desperate, and I felt bad for them, so I wanted to save these plants, and I feel like I did a really good job of saving them. I mean, this one is about 4 or 5 times bigger than it was when it started. That one's like 20 times bigger. The anchovies is about 20 times bigger. The bell pepper, she's like 5 times bigger. And they've all just turned into these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little plants with lots of life left to give. But I'm thinking we're probably going to take down the corn, open up this area for more light and growth. And since we're past the hottest part of the season already, I'm not too worried about the change in light. I will have to be conscious of the change in the watering schedule, because with more light, it means it's going to dry out a little bit faster, which will actually be good. Right now I have to water once every single day. If I don't water every single day, the plants hate me. And then they start drooping and they're like screaming, hey, I need some water. I need some water. But yeah, so the garden's doing really good. I am completely bummed. I have this peach tree from my mom a while back, and she's over there. and she always puts out a ton of peaches. I mean, she puts out so many peaches, it's almost funny. Uh, this year, unfortunately, when all the flowers came on, the day that they came on, we had a hailstorm and a windstorm, and she really got beat down. It was horrible. I've had it happen one other year and I only ended up with a few peaches. This year it happened again and I ended up with 4 peaches. 3 of them got infested, and the 4th one was just this big, beautiful, wonderful peach that I picked and ate like 4 days ago. And it was an amazing peach. I loved it. I love peaches. It is by far my most favorite fruit. One of my favorite things like peach yogurt, peach pie, peach cobbler, peaches off the tree, canned peaches, jarred peaches, sliced peaches, you name it. If it has peach in it, there's a good chance I probably have had it and love it. So, yep. Opal, what are you doing? What are you doing? Check out the Opal girl. What's up, Opal D's? Oh, so unfortunately, she is suffering right now. She has got a big, dark bluish gray spot that we've been fighting. We think she may have some disease. Unfortunately, when we got her, she ended up being just riddled with issues. She's got bad ears. She's got 2 bad front paws. She's prone to fungal infections like crazy. I mean, this girl gets a vinegar bath at least once a month. We fought an ear infection. She had both ears infected so badly when we got her. It was just ridiculous. It's so sad that she still suffers with this stuff, but she's a trooper, aren't you, Opal? She's like, this dang fly, that dang fly, right? She's a trooper though, but we've been treating this the best we can. It starts with a C, the disease. I forget what it's called right this minute, but that seems to be what it is. Unfortunately, it's something that we don't think we're going to be able to get rid of, and it sucks. We do our best to spoil her because we don't know how long she's going to be with us. Unfortunately, if this is one of those diseases, she won't have a really long life, which kind of sucks. But it's a better one than the one she had. So when we got her, she was my first pick in the litter. So we had her brother when he was a puppy. We got her from this lady that works at the store up the street, and we wanted a puppy. Our other dog was getting old. He had a massive tumor. We were just letting him live out his life. He refused to give up, and he kept fighting. He was old. He was about 15 years old. Toby, I've got videos with him, and he's just the most awesome, studly dog ever. But he was getting ready to kick the bucket. So we ended up getting Goose, which is her brother. We actually wanted the first dog born because they're typically the best. But we ended up with Goose, and Goose was an amazing boy dog. I usually have girl dogs throughout my whole life because I'm a guy and I like my girl dogs. I just do better with them. So these were actually the first 2 boy dogs I had, Goose and Toby. And Goose looked a lot like a boxer, like a mastiff boxer, just a big old husky pit mix. And he, even though we gave him the parvo shot at 7 months old, he ended up getting parvo like 3 times. This area is extremely rampant with parvo in the soil. And unfortunately, he's huge. He was a huge digger and he liked to eat the damn dirt. We don't know what the deal was with that. It was just something he did. And he ended up getting sick, and we fought off parvo once. We had him checked out, and then he got it again. And right as he was getting over it, he got it one more time. And my poor puppy passed away in my arms after 2 days of sitting there with him, trying to fight it, doing everything we could. There was just nothing to be done. It was up to him and fighting through it. And he fought as much as he could, but he didn't make it. And it was terribly sad to have your puppy pass away in your arms, but he did. And we waited until Toby passed away, and that was about 6 months after Goose. And they're both buried in the garden. One of them is buried, so Goose is buried right under this plant, and Toby is buried under that plant, and which is perfect because they both absolutely would get into my herbs. Every time I'd leave them out, they would get into them. I'm not a smoker by any means, or even I don't even eat edibles. Maybe once or twice a year. I just love growing the plant. I love the smell, and it's great for trading. I literally have traded for people to like weed my yard, my garden, traded for eggs, traded for vegetables. So it is a commodity that's worth money, and yeah, and lots of people are willing to trade for it. But yep, so we're dealing with Opal now, And unfortunately, it seems like the genetics of the parents, her parents, are just not very great. Her dad was a husky, mom was a pit bull, and the dad had serious ear problems, and the mom had other issues that she's been fighting. They both have lived a long life. I think they're both like between 8 and 10 years old, so who knows? But she's been getting spoiled since we found out what's Cushing's disease. That's what it's called, Cushing's disease. We're still trying to figure out what we can do to help her with it. She's got a dog appointment coming up here in the next month, so we're getting her in there. We got to wait a month because we just don't have a lot of money. But yeah, we're doing all the stuff we can. We've given her topicals, antifungals. We've put vinegar on it to try and knock it back, and we'll keep fighting with her until everything gets as good as we can, and then that's going to be what it's going to be. Let's just say she was a free dog, and she has been the most expensive dog I've ever had. Yes, you have, haven't you? Yeah, she's had, I don't know, like 5 doctor visits. Her ears alone took, how many doctor visits did we go to, Opal, for your ears? It was like, how many, Opal? How many doctor visits did your ears have, huh? We ended up with like 4 doctor visits to get your ears taken care of. Yeah, vets and doctors, I swear. There's some really good vets out there, and then it's not like a human though. If a human has an emergency, then they take you in and they take care of you and they send you a bill whether you can pay for it there or not. Unfortunately, with animals, it's not the same way. If you have an emergency with your animal and you don't have the money or enough money to take care of it at that time, then you're screwed, and it sucks, and that should change. I think since the way that we have to treat our animals, we have to respect them, we have to feed them, and we have all these rules and laws saying that, and they should be saying that we have to treat animals with respect and dignity, and you can't be cruel to them. At the same time, isn't it considered cruelty that you can't take your dog in and they have to take care of it? Or your cat or your rabbit or your pet? If it's your pet and it is an animal that lives with you, I feel like it should fall underneath the same clauses that human care takes care of. I know some hospitals will turn you away if you don't have insurance, but most emergency rooms won't. So if you have an emergency and you bring your dog in, you would think that they should have to take care of it. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. What do you think? Do you think that if your dog is injured and needs an emergency visit, that you should be able to take it to the vet whether you have the money or not, and have them just bill you for it and make payments? I think that should be a mandatory thing. Since we're treating animals a lot better these days, why haven't we done that yet? You tell me. Anyways, we were supposed to be talking about the garden, but that's Opal. Hi, Opal Dopals. What are you doing? Oh, and for those of you that like deck building, I built this floating deck a while back, and it's when you say floating, it's like it's floating, partially floating. You can see the black on it. I haven't finished up this side because the deck. I was planning on building it out and making a bigger deck. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I may have to hire somebody to do it, but once again, that all depends on the way a lot of things pan out here in the next couple months. We have been fighting L&I tooth and nail. I feel like we've got a good attorney. We had a pretty good attorney before, but he definitely dropped the ball, unfortunately. There was some information about my lungs, my chronic hypoxia. We had a letter from the pulmonary doctor. That's right, we had the letter from the pulmonary doctor, and I explicitly told my attorney that if these doctors need to be paid off to do the right thing, then we don't want to do it. These doctors have to do the right thing because it's the right thing. I don't want to pay somebody who's just money hungry to write up a piece of paper saying, oh, you've got chronic hypoxia because of your injury. I want them to write it up because I've got chronic hypoxia because of the injury. And that's the whole way I've gone through this thing. And it turns out, my pulmonary doctor actually wrote up that paper, but my attorney held on to that paperwork all the way through the entire claim that I had with L&I and never submitted it. That's right. So we had everything to get them to accept my chronic hypoxia diagnosis and L&I, and it was never submitted to L&I. Yep. And I found out at the end that my old attorney, this is all my old attorney, not going to mention names, but I might put it down below just in case you want to know. They are one of the biggest attorney firms that handle the cases in Washington State. But yeah, they sold me out. They didn't fight for me at the end at all. And actually, they tried to fire me as their client in the beginning. And then I presented them with information. I had had a statement written from one of the workers on the job site that was actually there and saw how everything was going down. He's actually working with me on the job that took me out of the game, which is why I have the chronic hypoxia, diastolic heart failure, cysts on my kidneys, bad heart valves, all the stuff. Yeah. Anyways, and probably a lot worse shit going on. But yeah, the attorney dropped the ball. So I don't know. Have you guys ever had to hire an attorney and then they just totally dropped the ball on you? No. Yeah, I need a glass of water, guys. I'm getting dry mouth chatting it up with y'all. But we got some stuff to do today. We're working on a new channel. That's right, working on a brand new channel. And this is one. So one of the biggest interests I have. I don't know if you guys have this interest too. You've probably seen all those videos on like the ancient civilizations, like the Silurian hypothesis. So it talks about the possibility that ancient civilizations actually existed that were technologically advanced, not just like thousands of years ago, but hundreds of thousands or even millions of years ago on this planet. And that over the course of time, the geological formations and meteorological weather, the planet has basically changed so much that we were only seeing small residuals of these technologically advanced ancient civilizations. Yeah, so that's basically the hypothesis in a nutshell, is saying that yeah, these civilizations did exist and that there is evidence out there, but it's like when we find like the hammer, or we found the clock, or we find these certain artifacts that are in geological formations, like literally have like molten lava covered up a hammer, and then somebody like dug it out, 100 million years later, and it ends up being a 100 million year old hammer, carbon dated. And they're like, well, it's just an oddity. It's not really a 100 million year old hammer, because that would be saying that there was an ancient civilization that had hammers. Well, why couldn't that be possible? That's what I think. So anyways, the channel is called Community of Thought. And we're going to be going in and we're going to be diving into things like the Silurian hypothesis. We're going to be looking at things like, I don't know, the potential of life on other planets. We're going to be asking questions that people don't want to ask that seem to be a little bit more popular these days. And we're going to be looking for the answers. It's something that I'm deeply interested in. I've always been deeply interested in, is the what ifs and how could it be. And ever since my close encounter experience, I know some of you are probably shaking your head, oh, a close encounter experience, sure. Yeah, well, you know what, up yours. Seriously, I don't care. I know what my experience was. It's still as vivid as the night it happened, and I don't think that's going to change. I actually, I drew a damn picture of the thing the morning after. So the night that I had my close encounter, when this thing removed something from my leg, that's right, I had like this bump in my leg. I always thought it was like a calcium deposit or even a BB that had been shot into my leg as a kid. I remember going in and I got it checked out by a doctor, and yeah, they were like, oh, it's probably just a calcium deposit. And this is, only a few weeks before this whole thing happened. A few weeks, because I was still seeing a doctor on a regular basis. And, they felt it like, oh, it could just be a calcium deposit or it's something else. And then I had my close encounter. The thing was in my bedroom. And I realized within, it was like 2 days later, I was feeling my leg, because it was literally right here on my leg. So there was a bump, like something right there. Just imagine like a BB under the skin or something. You can feel it there all the time. Well, I didn't feel it there anymore. That's right. It was gone. And I went and got checked out, and it was no longer there. So yeah, crazy, right? But yeah. So anyways, I ended up drawing a picture of this thing the next morning. And sorry guys, I'm trying to get this thing set here. Oh. It's the new office I set up. Yeah. Oh, that was weird. Oh, the light's flickering. Why is the light flickering? You see that? The light was flickering right as I'm talking about it too. That is so weird. So this is the new setup for the new show, Community of Thought. And we're going to be talking, like I said, we're going to be talking about aliens. We're going to be talking about conspiracy theories. We're going to be talking about other people that are out there discovering the potential that life could have existed on this planet. And I mean, civilized life, maybe an entirely different species of humanoid creatures lived on this planet millions of years ago before the dinosaurs, or maybe even after the dinosaurs. And we're going to be talking about ancient civilizations, the potential of life off this world. We're going to be talking about rockets. We're going to be talking about cool things people build. We're going to be talking about gardens, anything that the community has a thought about. That's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm really excited to get this going. I'm going to put a link. What kind of things do you want me to talk about on this new show? And this channel will be completely dedicated to anything out there that's a little bit weird.
If you have any suggestions for an episode or